So this video is going to cover 5 tips on how to save thousands of pounds across the year. It is really simple, really effective. I've done it for about 10 years now and really excited to share it with you. We have a tripod on an island with my phone. Anyway, it's all good. I am going to start with an apology because I am very conscious. I said on my Instagram, I am going to film this video about how to save thousands a while back. The reason for the delay is I didn't want to rush it and miss some key information. But in trying to give it the due time, it's ended up taking a little while. I'm also conscious that after this video, I have a long list of how to buy a house, how to secure a job in local government, my Invisalign journey, weight loss. Oh my gosh, I will get round to all of them. I have a heap of annual leave to use up before the end of March. I'm going to use some of those days to just get all of these videos out, especially the one about how to buy a new house. There's so much I can bring in terms of tips. So I will get round to them. Just bear with me. Anyway, let's get started. So this video, how to save thousands, it can range from you wanting to save £1,000 a year to £40,000 a year. It just depends on your circumstances and your personal commitment to kind of make it happen and how far you want to push it. Of course, everyone will take from it what works for them. Also, for me, the journey was with my partner, but absolutely fine to kind of do this as an individual journey. What I'm about to say and some of the tips I'm about to share is much more about the approach as opposed to the detail. So just a bit of background. Every time I have purchased a property, the concern for me is that upfront deposit. We needed to have 10% deposit, solicitor fees, and then of course you've got the 20 to 40,000 stamp duty. Obviously, it's a lot more if you have a property already. It's just a ridiculous tax that I can't bear. So that is kind of what got me into this frame of how do I save a lot of money quickly. And I think especially for someone like me, I love spending money on experiences, lunches out, going on holiday, coffees with friends, nothing in terms of capital. So nothing really to show for it. Just lots of memories in here. My husband is the other extreme. He can save like crazy. He wants to spend on the big and important things. Whereas for me, I don't want to keep just saving for the future and have no experiences along the way. We don't know how long we're in this world. Nothing is guaranteed. Morbid, I know, but it's the reality. So we kind of try to find a middle ground, but I still think he's a really extreme saver. He thinks I'm a really extreme spender. So I created a level of accountability to him. That is actually the first step. Although I hated it, I knew I needed someone that I could be at least a little bit accountable to because I'd get paid and before the month ends, I've run out. It was ridiculous. So that is tip 1. Find someone that you know is really good with their money. Make a point of being accountable to them. Your partner, your friend, your sister, your mom. It doesn't matter who it is. You just need to tell them that you really want to start saving. It just means you have someone on your case, so it's not all down to you. And people that are good with their money actually enjoy keeping an eye on other people and helping them. So it's not a burden on them. You'll be doing yourself a big favor. Every savings video I've ever watched or article I've ever read always says create a budget. The thought of sitting there and trying to work out how much I want to spend on clothes, how much I want to spend on this, on that, just painful. I found a way around it. However, you do need to review your spending, which is tip 2. This is the hardest bit. You need to go through your bank account to look at your spending over the last 3, ideally 6 months, but 3 months will suffice. As you're going through, you need to take note of 2 things. Number 1 is your must spend. Things like travel, food for the house, items of clothing, items that are non-negotiable, real kind of necessities. But in that also include your need to spend, such as that one takeaway a week, your Sky TV, anything that you know you can't compromise on and you absolutely need. The only thing I would say is if you're including need to spend in the must spend, please make sure it's realistic. If there's something there you can actually live without, so a takeaway once a month instead of once a week, please try to go for that. Really think, do I definitely need this? But at the same time, don't take something out of there if you definitely know that you can't cope without it. So it kind of works both ways. There's no point cutting back on your mobile phone package if you know you can't survive without the minutes. And the second part of your list is your like to spend. So this is like coffees out, having lunches in restaurants, buying shoes, all of those things that you can just consider as an added luxury that if you made the effort, you could live without. By the end of this, you will have a list of your must-have. They're all the things that are non-negotiable. The bit that you need to account for is everything in option 2, which is your like to have. So over the last 3 to 6 months, on average, how much have you been spending on category 2? You need to take a note of that, and I'm going to come back to this one. Before I do, step 3 is to sit down and review every single one of your direct debit and your standing orders. As a minimum, any of your contracts, just phone them up and tell them you want to leave. Guarantee you will save money just by doing that. On the other hand, if you can push yourself to look around and find better offers, of course, you'll be saving 50% there easily. Just give them a call or look on the website and you'll probably find you can save money just like that. Tip number 4, we're coming back to the like to spend category. How far can you push this? So I halved my like to spend. I had a certain amount that I saw I was spending every single month. And I thought, do you know, I really want this property, and all those coffees and all those takeaways just don't balance with actually having a whole house. So I halved it. I halved that luxury spending element of mine. And you need to decide what's right for you. There is no point in cutting it out completely. It's not sustainable. It's really hardcore, and maybe you can do it for a month, 2 months, but that's not going to get you a deposit for a house. So obviously I went to half, but that is because I'm an excessive spender. So I used to spend far too much in the first place. So you need to decide, is it 20%, is it 40%, 60% that you want to keep of that allowance. Final tip, and this ties all of the other tips up, is tip number 5, which is create a new account. Of course, if you're with your partner, make that your joint account. This is where all the savings will come through. First of all, you transfer all of your direct debits and any other bill payments to this account. You each have a card, or of course, if you're not doing this with your partner, you've got one bank card for this essentials account. So all the direct debits come out of there. Any shopping that you have to do, such as food for the house, will come out of there. Every month when your pay comes through, you will keep your like to spend allowance in your existing account and move all the rest of your wages into the new current account that you've set up that has all the direct debits for essential bills. My husband has a smaller like to spend allowance than me because, like I said, he's not a big spender. So both of us keep our like to spend allowances in our own individual accounts, and the rest of our wages goes into this new account. And all bills, we've both got a bank card for this account. Any shopping that we have to do, you know, kids' uniform, all of that, we just pay with the card allocated to that account. Now, after a few months in that new current account, you will see the money rock up really, really quickly. And it's up to you what you do with that. You can transfer it to a savings account, keep it for a rainy day, or invest it somewhere. Absolutely your call. And that honestly is it. It sounds simple enough. Obviously, because I've been doing it for so long now, it makes perfect sense to me. So I'm hoping I haven't missed anything crucial here. I really do want this to help you. So please do feel free to ask or clarify anything in the comments, and I promise I'll come back wherever I think there's key information missing. I know it sounds simple, but I really needed something that is simple because I've just got too much on in my life, and I could not be sitting there drawing up a budget for the next 6 months. It would never happen. And actually the hardest bit was reviewing spending over the last 3 to 6 months. But at least that didn't need me to think because the information's already there. I just needed to gather it. So the main thing here is getting tip 4 right in relation to your like to spend. It just depends on how far you're prepared to push yourself. And also another thing I want to highlight on this is my allowance was slightly less than what it is now, because I realized after a few months I was actually finding it quite hard to stick with the 50%. So I pushed it a little bit more, and that's absolutely fine. It's more important to be realistic than to kind of keep going over your allowance. Hope that was useful. If you also have any tips to share on saving money, please do comment so it's all in the same place and we can all help each other. And any specific questions or follow-ups, please do ask. I really think it's important to spend money and enjoy the little moments in life, but not to be excessive in that, and much more to then focus on the longer game, on some of the big things. All right, guys, hope that was helpful. Take care.